Dear guest, we are moving to the next panel. The panelists are Nevena Momirovic, experience in implementation of standards and the future of the markets of zero residues product. Agritecno, Ricard Melia, induced systemic resistance and use of bioactive compounds, and Andermatt Biocontrol, Alina Piven, 10 overview of some biopesticides and their importance in plant protection for commercial acceptance. From Agritecno, we have a change. So Ricard Melia is coming here. You're going to hear him. And as you've heard, company Zeleni was certified for 3 products without a residue. So Mrs. Nevena Momirovic is going to speak about their experience and implementation of standards and what's the future for zero residue products. So I would like Mrs. Momirovic to take the floor. Thank you. If you need simultaneous interpretation, the headsets are available, so you can look for them at the entrance of this room. So it's easier for me to speak from this side of the room. I'm coming from Zeleni company, and I'm going to speak about our experience with zero residue concept and to speak about the products that we have been certified of and the future market of zero residue products. So we know that there are many standards of food that are available, and we know the selection of standards depends on the market where we plan to place the product. So apart from the basic standards like global gap of the good manufacturing practice and GRASP, today we also have the certification based on zero residue concept. So we have the Zeria Spanish on bioagri cert, the Italian one, but we have the local one. We are aware of the agricultural faculty standard, and the ones that we selected are our MS001, so which has better traceability and control of points, and global gap remained within the business-to-business framework, which is not available to the end user, while B2C is something that can be communicated to the end user. So last year we certified 4 products. So those are cherry tomato, Vespolino, and Tomaggino. Then the crispy red. We had the opportunity to see the presentation of it at the very start of this panelist, and Carmen mini watermelon. It is based on our MS001 standard, and you can see the map of our the demonstration field where we implemented. When it comes to the procedure of the implementation, the prerequisite for it, although it is not the prerequisite global gap, but for us it was, simply because of the sales and some critical points. And before we start with these activities, we have to conduct the analysis of the critical points and to adjust the growing technology and the protection to this. And we have to use the active matters, which are the less resistant and less toxic, and to use the agents without the toxic perchlorate. And we are part of the system of monitoring and the residue pesticide, less is more. We first have to do the analysis of the pesticides in accredited laboratories, which is done before the harvest and then during the season. And the result of every analysis has to be less than 0.01 milligrams per kilo of pesticide in the final product. So the standard differs this product from the other products according to the standards. After the conduction of the analysis of the fruit, and when we get the results, we get the certificate and the possibility to use this the guarantee without the residue pesticides, and what we are obliged to, that all the quantities that we sell, we have to introduce in the database. It's a simple step, but it improves our traceability system. So when we speak about the placement, there are various options from the concept to implementation, to have the deluxe or to have the label with the hybrid name on it, which enables us to protect this product, and this is the premium quality. We can do that. So the first two products, Nomagino and Vespolino, started at the end of May last year. They were packed in 250-gram plastic packaging with this branded label, the declaration, and the traceability label was also placed on 8 pieces in little boxes. And you heard at the very start about the crispy red bell pepper, which was intended for the premium segment, and for the fresh consumption, it's packed 3 pieces in a plastic perforated bag with a label and declaration of traceability, 6 pieces of this packaging in the little box. Now when it comes to the mini watermelon, seedless watermelon Carmen, and it is packed in 6 pieces with the label in a box and with a traceability label. So we constantly work on some novelties. So the crispy red was meant for the fresh consumption. This pepper will be the specialty for traditional consumption or our cuisine, and it is characterized by a very thick and it's very quite aromatic. It is not the red pepper, but also the pepper blancina, and it is quite sweet and with very crispiness and consistency. And when we speak generally about the zero residues products, we really believe in their bright future because of some green directive requirements that we have to meet by 2030. So out of 17 SDGs, I put some of them. So the goal would be that there's no poverty, zero hunger, then responsible consumption and production, which is linked to the zero waste and 0 kilometers. But generally, because of that, the products, free pesticide products, have a better sale in the local market and international market as well. But we have to promote this concept and to educate the consumers so that they are aware of what this little flower means. And generally, there's a trend towards short food chain products to cut this product from the farm to the fork and to completely integrate all entities in the production, logistics, and the sales. We cannot do that by ourselves. We have to collaborate and to cooperate through franchises, consortia, cooperatives, and other forms of organizations. And through the professional technical support, you can get the good products and to be aware of all the pests and pesticides. And we keep working on researches and innovations. And generally, we would need to have some collective standards in our future work. That's why we plan in 2024 to be more focused on the berries, because it is of a premium quality, of a premium nutritional quality, and we plan to work with the Lido Berry and to pack the products in small packaging under the consortium Greenberry team, and to have the unique logo. It includes also the raspberry, not the traditional, but the new varieties and some specialties that will be exclusive ones in collaboration with Lucky company whose smoothies you had the opportunity to taste. And through consortium, we can try to protect our brand. Also, there's a blackberry, which also will include the new 3 varieties like Natchez, Ochita, and Von. They will be available through our consortium. Why zero residues only in fresh product when frozen product can be consumed in large quantities? So this is something that we also plan in the near future to do. And you had the opportunity to taste this excellent smoothie. Currently, we have 6 mix products, and it's something that can transit to zero residue product. That will be all for me now. I'm available for all the questions that you have. Thank you, Mrs. Momirovic. And as you've heard from Agrotecno company, we will hear Mr. Ricard Melia. They are dealing with the biostimulants and the products for the nutrition of the plants, and they also advocate for the sustainable agriculture. So Mr. Melia will speak about the induced systemic resistance and use of bioactive compounds. Mr. Melia, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Carl Melia. I belong to Agritecno. I'm an agricultural engineer. This is our factory. Agritecno is a Spanish company, but we belong to Ajinomoto Group, which is a Japanese multinational. We are the first amino acids producer worldwide from fermentation. Then I want to show you what is the base of our technology. Plants are producing naturally those bioactive components we want to speak about today. Plants are receiving external stimuli like high temperatures, low temperatures, even insects, etc. Those stimuli, through several signals, are arriving to the genes of the plant. The genes of the plant are stimulated, and then they are making the plant to produce enzymes that are producing other bioactive substances. Those bioactive substances are stored in the plant reserve organs, so we can take those plant reserve organs and extract those bioactive substances from them. Those bioactive substances are going to stimulate the plant resistance. If we analyze our raw material, our extracts, we are going to see that we have more than 200 organic compounds. They are bioactive compounds or not. You can see here the analysis, plenty of bioactive compounds, but we actually don't know if they are bioactive or not. How can we understand that? So, by doing analysis of the genetic expression. So, you can see that there are stimulating genes related to growth, to flowering, to everything, to many things. So, that's the way we can know that our biostimulants are working. Then, since we have 200 organic components inside, we can understand that they are acting together. So this is a synergistic effect. Yes, sorry. For instance, if we want to fight against heat stress, we know that the plant is producing certain proteins that are repairing, fixing the proteins, the enzymes that has been impaired due to the high temperatures. This is nature. Then we have seen that one of our extracts is triggering a lot of genes that makes the plant to produce those proteins that are repairing the impaired enzymes. And then we also know that in our extracts, since they are coming from plants, we can find certain oligosaccharides that are also inducing those heat-shock proteins that are repairing the impaired enzymes in the plant. So we have the perfect cocktail inside our extracts. Working against excessive high temperatures is not so simple. I have spoken about this, but we need to use a lot of substances in order to solve the problem. And those substances are included among those 200 different components in our extracts. So this is the secret of having high quality and high performance biostimulants. I want to underline the fermentation because we are experts in fermentation. These Japanese are really clever for that. One of my favorite bioactive components are polyamines. Polyamines can be found in food, in corn, sugar beets, and are very healthy for human beings. But not only. Also, for plants are necessary components, making a lot of things inside, as you can see. Then, polyamines are produced directly by plants, and they are produced from these two amino acids. I mean, amino acids are really important elements for plants. It's important to give amino acids, as we have seen before, Dimitris told us, are very important for plants. Then, polyamines has been studied in many universities, in many research centers. This is just a paper showing that external application of polyamines are improving the fruit firmness in blueberry. You can find hundreds of papers speaking about polyamine applications. Then another of my favorite bioactive compounds are betaines. You can find also many papers speaking about external application, in this case in strawberry, increasing the yield, improving the color, even increasing the vitamin C inside the fruits. Sorry, it's not okay. And here, a practical example by using agri-food containing both polyamines, betaines, and 198 more different components. So you can see that applying since after transplanting, you can get a bigger crown in which all the nutrients are going to be stored for the next flowering. We are getting around 15%, 23% bigger diameter of the crown, improving root system. And then you can see the results. More flowers, better synchronization, no deformities. This is the control. Many deformed strawberries and different sizes. Here, very homogeneous. And it's obvious, it's evident that there is 35% more flowers. This is it was the first flowering of the season. Then, in tomato, you can see the stress, the heat stress, curling the leaves. You can see the production, not very high. But when using AgriFull regularly, every week, every 10 days, 3 liters per hectare is not a very high dosage. You can see the leaves are perfect, not suffering, more yield, and maybe you can discover more differences, but I'm not going to speak about. I want you to think. Maybe later you can ask. This is another product containing also a big amount of betaine, amino acids, and other substances. You can see the control are still green tomatoes. When using tecamines, we are increasing the color. It means advancing the harvest. Here, 2 days later, the grower harvested almost all the tomatoes in the applied with tecamine part, and the control was still not harvested. And then, for recovering plants, this is a problem in Argentina after hail damage, and we recovered perfectly the plant by applying foliarly Tegamin Max. Then, I want to tell you that mixing those biostimulant with cations, with nutrients, micronutrients, is very useful. You know that copper penetration or calcium penetration through the leaves when they are applied foliarly is quite difficult. You can see that calcium or copper cannot penetrate very easily through the plant cuticle, and very few cations are arriving to the cell. When we mix this copper, for instance, with our plant extracts, the copper can easily penetrate and get the cell very easily. So you can see entering there. And, for instance, the copper from the cell cytoplasm can go and enter, for instance, inside the fungi that are eating the cell. So, you know, the copper is not, is not a friend of fungi. So finally, the fungi is going to die. So this is another small secret I want to tell you for today. So thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation, and later on I'm expecting your questions.
Hvala gospodine Melija. U Švajcarskoj je pre decenija grupa Andermatt
Group changes the biochemical agents, biochemical solutions. Alina Piven is going to speak about the application of biopesticides and their importance in plant protection for commercial acceptance.
I will continue in English because unfortunately, I can't speak Serbian yet. I would start with this guy. I wouldn't call by name the country where he's from. It's the biggest territory of the world. And his name is Vladimir, so maybe you can just make a connection. So, is it going? I'm sorry, I have to come back. Yeah, he's suffering. The problem is, the main problem he has is tuta absoluta, and tuta absoluta destroyed his plants, as you can see. He used everything available at that moment. It's 5 years ago. It was 5 years ago. He used everything: Coragen, Belt, Valium Flexi, Proclaim, yeah. And at the end, yeah, you see the result. So What is the message, actually? The modern growers, tomato growers, they use biologicals. So it means if the pest is out of the control, you have to use biologicals. And modern tomato growers, they use mainly biologicals, like Macrolophus, sometimes Nosidiocoris, mating disruption based on pheromones, sometimes Bacillus thuringiensis-based products, and virus-based products. Tutavir, this is our product. But yeah, I don't want to sell now our products. I just want to give you an impression about biologicals and why are they important. And I will tell in general. So remember this guy, please, and don't do this. Here is an example of sustainable control, of sustainable pest control. This was a long-term trial from Switzerland. And in this orchard, the main pest, this is an apple orchard, the main pest is, of course, Cidia pomonella, apple moth or codling moth. And we see in the first year, at the beginning, it was a disaster because they sprayed everything available and still they had a high damage rate. And this is the sign of resistance, actually the same as in the previous slide, in the video, just another pest. So what they did, they switched to the biological control completely. And these were actually only two tools. One of them was mating disruption based on pheromones. Maybe some of you know Isonet against Cidia pomonella. And they included Madex. This is a virus-based product of Andermatt Biocontrol. And at the beginning, they sprayed 800 milliliters per hectare. And with the time, the dosage reduced. I mean, this was not only one spray. At the beginning, there were 8 sprays, and at the end, 5 sprays with the lower rate. So, can you do it with chemicals? No way. And in the end, we have a very, very low presence of the pest, and low inputs, and perfect control. So this you can achieve with biologicals only. And this is a standard program in Switzerland. So what is the result of destroyed balance? Maybe some of you are familiar with this guy. This one, yes? He or she likes pear, and he or she likes them. Yes. And actually, in the nature, we have a balance. Yeah. There is no such words like a pest or yeah, disease control, something like this, because it's controlling itself, let's say. And what can happen if we use high toxic chemicals which destroy everything around? This is another trial. I very like it because it's showing how the control, not sustainable control of main pest, can cause damage of the yield by secondary pest. Because Psylla is actually, for a long period of time, it was unknown as pest. Cidia pomonella was the main pest in pears. And because of Psylla, many growers actually give away growing pears because they can't control Psylla. And why? Why this can happen? Because in this trial, you see pyrethroids were used for control of Cidia, and neonicotinoid was used. to control Cydia pulmonella. At the same time, they used virus-based product to control Cydia, and we see actually excellent control by virus of Cydia, and no damage caused by Psylla. At the same time, you see the complete yield is destroyed by Psylla in the other plots. This can happen if we use products that are not selective. And what is actually the real price we pay if we use cheap products? Cheap, actually, there is nothing cheap. We maybe buy it for low price, but we pay much, much more at the end. Chemicals, the use of pesticides destroy the nature. Of course, the population of insects is decreasing, the population of birds feeding on insects is decreasing. If this is not enough for you, okay, people also are suffering, even dying because of pesticides. No, the topic is zero residue. I don't want to be very negative now, but just have a look at this. And whenever you can, whenever it's possible, use these ones. These are, oh yeah, dangerous. Sorry. Yes, these are actually our nature friends of the crop, I would say, because they are feeding on pests, on insects, and these are can help them. So in combination, this is the perfect balance. And please avoid, whenever possible, this. Yeah, as I said, I don't want to sell you something now because this is not my goal. My goal is to give you some impression and to tell there are available solutions that are safe, that are effective. Even they could be much more effective than chemicals, as we have seen it in the first slides. And yeah, our company is for 35 years for sustainable agriculture, for biocontrol. We are developing biocontrol-based biocontrol products based on microbials, and we have quite a wide range. In Serbia, several products are already available for the root health programs, for control of fungicides, for control of some insect pests, and we are pretty sure it will be more. So please consult Zeleni Heat. This is our partner, and they are doing a great job. Yeah, if you have any questions, please ask.
Thank you, Mrs. Piven. If anyone has questions for her or for other panelists, you can ask the questions.
Može samo da dobije mikrofon.
If you can pass a microphone to a gentleman who would like to ask a question.
In apple from Cydia pulmonella, there are pure organic apples, or integral with insecticide, or pure organic. Thank you.
Okay, it's on. If I understood right, the question was if this example of the program is for conventional or for organic grower. So this farm, they switched from conventional growing to organic growing, but this program is actually also used in conventional, like, okay, conventional, we say integrated IPM growing. So it means maybe they can use some fungicides, they're not for organic production, but Cydia pulmonella control is commonly with only two tools, mating disruption and virus.
Ima li još pitanja?
Do you have more questions? We didn't have time to introduce all compounds, but speaking about the pheromones or traps, the ways to prevent reproduction of these pesticides, there are some compounds, speaking about the protection of tomato or something else, they're available on a world market, biopesticides, and even you don't need Macrolophus to use as a predatory species to fully protect vegetable and fruits. Any more questions? Professor, what is the quantity of Dutatec per hectares? It's approximately 30 to 36 square meters or metric meters per hectares. On the side walls, it should be thicker quantity when the tomato is transplanted. It is the use in greenhouses because the concentration of gone in the lower parts of greenhouses in morning hours is better. So we spread it on the fence because it's a higher concentration than pheromone, and you don't need that much human labor, much work. There is isonent also compound, but we are more satisfied with this one. I mentioned Tutar first time was applied in seed beds in greenhouses, especially if you have higher pressure. As soon as the temperature goes up to 10 degrees, you already have a problem to maintain the crops in a healthy condition. So if you don't have more questions, I would like to thank the organizer, Agro Belgrade and Zeleni Heat Company. Of course, thank you all for attention, but this is not the end of our conference. I would like to invite you to visit Hall 2 for a cocktail and to continue exchanging information. Thank you all for your attention. Thank you, dear panelists.